Sorry, you're a little loud there. 1 second. There. Hello. How can I help you or not?
Yeah. Yeah, there really isn't a question that I can ask that is, I don't know, gonna make me understand this. Um, because I already am what I'm looking for. I don't know, I guess I'm a little frustrated,
Yeah.
um, with all of this. But I guess my question would be, mm, where is this frustration coming from, or this need? Yeah, this need to realize what I am, even though I already, yeah, I know that any question is coming from the ego. So why do we keep asking? Why do we keep needing to understand? I don't know, maybe conditioning, the fear of letting go of everything that I know and that I've learned, and you know, yeah.
Yeah, it actually comes from God. But
Yeah, that makes it worse.
yeah, I had to go through a stage of being very angry with God. Very like swearing and screaming at God. But now in your experience, whereabouts in the body do you feel the frustration?
Yeah, that's a great question, because obviously I would say that I tend to have a lot of bodily sensations, and that's how I feel like a person and not the witness. But I would say the forehead, especially like when I close my eyes, I can feel the tension on my forehead, um, my heart, my throat. I have trouble speaking, especially in my job. That has to do a lot with like customer service, and then a lot in my gut and like hips.
Mm. That's really great that you've identified the places and where you feel frustration. So the way that I work and the way that I worked on myself and the way that I tend to work with people is through the chakra system. That's not like the one shoe fits all, so it's different for everybody. So it might not be appropriate or resonate for you, and you've got to find your discernment as to what fits. But what I suspect happens, well, what I feel happens, it's better to say, is that we have this energy that is going up through the chakra system. So it starts at the base of the spine, just below the base of the spine, and it runs up through the chakra system and then out the top of the head. And you don't necessarily need to feel that, it's doing it all by itself. But what happens is that if you're open to the body and you've tuned into the body and you realize that you're not feeling everything as a thought, some people are just cut off in their heads, so this is just really alien to them. But once you feel the body, then the emotions are very interesting, because what they want to do is they want to come out of the top of your head, but they get blocked along the way. So it's not wrong that you have emotions. It's not bad that you have emotions. That's really natural. That's part of being human. I have emotions. Like I was at a family party last night, and after like 3 hours, I just felt this sadness, because I felt like I could see a lot of people suffering. And that was most probably in my heart. I can't remember now, but yeah. When we resist the feelings, they get stuck. And then it all sort of begins to get clogged up. So it's really interesting that you're feeling it. And also just to let you know that the chakras has meridians which go off into all other parts of the body. So it's not just the chakras that we know of in just say in the heart or in the different, like I'm not going to say them all now, but you know what I mean. They go off
Yeah,
into all the body. So you've got chakra points throughout your body and then all around your body as well. I mean, and I'm not an expert on it as well. This is mostly self-exploration and then also reading and then what my
I'm
teacher
very
taught me
familiar with that, so
with
I know,
the chakras. Yeah, you know
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So so that's the reason that it happens, and the reason that they get blocked is from seeking, not accepting them. But that's happened at such a young age that we sometimes can't even remember that we're avoiding something. You know, it just all begins to get a bit murky in there. So it's just paying attention, and that's what's happening to you. Is the more that you've got into this subject, the more you're paying attention. And then what's coming to the surface is frustration that was already there. It's not the subject that's frustrating. The subject is just triggering the frustration that's already there. So it's acceptance that currently at the moment, your chakra system is illuminating its frustration in order for it to be accepted and released. And the way that it's released is just by bringing it to the light, becoming aware of it. There's also exercises that you can do to help move things through, but in the end, the key to it is absolute acceptance and knowing of it. So it's not hidden. So you get to the frustration, and what will happen through time is it will begin to become more clear the hatred or the anger that's been stored in the body. So I'm sure you notice that. And everything at the moment that makes you frustrated is such a gift because it's highlighting it. I mean, this is it happening. This is the process happening. We always think that we're in control of the process, but it's happening. Like for me now, so I still have to release stuff from my body. I don't know if that will ever stop. But when stuff gets triggered, I'm excited by it. You know, like it's like, oh, let's have a look what's there. You know, we've had thousands and millions years of this evolution into these human forms, and then this human form and all it's most probably endless our release, but it gets easier and it gets quicker. And then eventually at some point the seeking will relax enough and then the attention will naturally go to witnessing all the time. And then that will get a lot easier after that because your predominant state of being will be love. And then, you know, the releasing and the emotions will just be seen as an aspect of that love. You know, they won't be going into hatred and lots of complicated dynamics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
And it does resonate with what I'm experiencing, like being at my job and interacting with customers. I can feel that um, anger because I'm asking myself, okay, why do I feel fear? Why do I feel less than them? And then, like you said, frustration comes up, anger comes up. And before it was because I thought I wasn't good enough. And now I realize, no, that's just a thought. You know, that's just a belief, a belief that I wasn't willing to look at. And now I realize that it's just unconscious thoughts that I was holding to conform to them so that I can get the validation, um, which is all part of the ego, obviously. And I can see that clearly because it's like, I don't care what you think about me. I can see it now. It's like, it's not what I actually want is acceptance of myself, you know, not acceptance of you accepting me, which is just a whole projection because there is no other. They're just projections of me. But I was going to ask So what is resisting those feelings? Um, what is, if anything, is holding me back from actually experiencing the body as not just the body, because the body is a thought, right? What is the body without thought or labeling?
I don't know if I understand your question.
Um, yeah, what is resisting those emotions when they do rise up? Because it feels like it's a, like I get
Okay.
angry because I get angry, or I get
It's,
angry because I get fear.
mm,
And then
it,
what are those emotions if I don't label them?
just energy. They're empty, totally empty. But what keeps them in place is seeking. So a deep feeling that they shouldn't be there, or there's something wrong with you.
So all of it is just the mind's interpretation. It's like the mind interprets the anger, the fear, and then it reacts to it. And then it just creates that cycle.
Mm, sort of. It's it's not just the thoughts or the mind reactions. It's also this contraction that appears with the seeking. But I suppose you could say that is the mind. You could say that is thought. There's basically the center of it all is the seeking to be a form, and then the original seeking is I am a body. Like to be a body. It doesn't feel like that, but it's to be somebody.
No,
I'm a
yeah,
name, I'm a body.
absolutely.
The,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's and then from that, and then the actual emotions and feelings. So I have emotions and feelings, or this character has emotions and feelings, and their habits and conditions. So emotions and feelings, negative and positive, don't necessarily need to be identification or seeking. So, um, like for example, um, yeah, I can feel uncomfortable when I'm with people um, that aren't living in truth and honesty. Like not uncomfortable, but I can feel uncomfortable communicating too deeply with them. Like so, because it sort of hinders communication. Because if you do it and they don't, then they just think you're weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then also, like you're being really honest and vulnerable, and they're not. So it's like a very unbalanced dynamic.
right.
It's very vulnerable. So it's not that it's not like I'm trying to make a me and them, like, oh, they're bad because they're not into this subject or being honest and vulnerable. It's just when you become really perceptive of yourself and the way that you're acting, then you you want to be with people that are really honest and open. So when I'm
Right.
with people that aren't honest and open for an ongoing period of time, I begin to feel uh, uncomfortable, like suppressed,
Yeah,
in the sense that I can't really express myself. I can't really
exactly.
be free to express myself. My character can't really say exactly what's on mind, because which is what it desires to do, like no inside, no outside world, because the other people can't take that. So they're like the and that causes discomfort, and that can remind me of in childhood there was feelings of childhood. So there could be connections of past, like or bullying in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they just come up and they're just seen and they go through the system. And what I like to do is be able to express it in every situation. So I'll even tell people that aren't into this subject how I feel, and then they just think I'm weird, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I won't say it meanly, I'll just totally own it on myself. Like I feel like I need to express myself or something. So it's natural to have have emotions. It's natural to have the chakra system that has these different emotions, but it all gets clogged up and stuck when we seek and we avoid it. This is becoming on the human level like a really vulnerable human.
Yeah.
Like a really honest, vulnerable human. Like when it feels uncomfortable, it says it because it's not ashamed of it. When it feels angry, it admits it because it's not ashamed of it. So it's really
Yeah,
like not the person doesn't become enlightened. It's not like we
yeah,
imagine or hope.
yeah. No, I've watched a lot of your videos, so I totally get that. The person,
Yeah,
it's just the conditioning.
yeah,
It's just, you can say that emotions is part of the human experience, and that's how the
yeah,
human feels good and feels bad. And I
totally.
guess what we're doing now is kind of looking at the mind, look at itself, and realizing like, hey, you're not those emotions, the
Yeah,
positive or the negative, and
yeah,
being the witness. uh Thoughts are going to arise where I feel like I'm speaking, or I feel like I'm doing something, or I feel like the body, but that's what it means to be a human, right? And I
yeah,
think that's the where I'm at right now,
yeah, yeah.
where when those thoughts arise, instead of just believing them, I question them, and I notice the witness in the background. And
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's the process happening, and it will get easier and easier, but it is an endless process. You know, when you're in form will always expand on every level. So,
okay.
so this process that you're going through now, frustration can be painful, especially if there's seeking involved. And it can be very frustrating and painful, but it's a natural process that's happening when you get into the subject. It
Yeah,
just takes apparent time.
yeah, I feel like I'm suffering more than I was before, just because of, like, I'm seeing it more now. I'm not
Totally.
resisting anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it gets worse for a period.
looking
But
forward to it.
yeah, because you begin to realize, because prior I can't, it was so long ago I struggle to remember, but I do remember, and like like uh, when I first started, I wasn't aware that I was uncomfortable. Like, so I was acting uncomfortable, and I maybe could say I had anxiety, or I was uncomfortable, or I was upset about something, or I was angry. I could say and name my emotions. But I remember when I started meditating, I started putting attention in the body, and I was like, oh, fuck, the body hurts. And that's
Mhm.
the emotions. It's not that the body actually hurts, it's the emotions locked into it. And there had to be quite a few years, like 4 or 5 or 6 years of really embracing that pain. I think I told you this maybe last time or something. Like I went to
Yeah.
a Muji talk, and then I
Hmm.
cried to him. Body,
Hmm.
he's in so much pain.
Hmm. Yeah. And all those emotions are just, um, I don't know. I heard a teacher say that emotions or bodily sensations are just thoughts or beliefs that we have.
Yeah, most probably and contracted in the body. In the end, they're just energy. Like they're nothing and not a thing. But yeah, they're most probably thoughts contracted into the body. Who knows what comes first though? Like it becomes a bit chicken and the egg, like to separate it all out.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I don't want to take too much of the
Yeah,
time if anyone else has a question, but
yeah,
it's always a pleasure, and
yeah,
I love
thank you
you.
so much. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes, so very nice. Yeah, Ivan, I didn't hear what you said in the last instant. You said something like, I love something, but I didn't hear you. It's just I wasn't ignoring you. I just heard it when I was saying thank you. And then as it went, I suddenly, my mind thought, what did I just hear? Okay, I wasn't ignoring it.